I think we're live.
Yes.
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. Welcome everybody to Hear Me Out in October. Welcome everybody. This is a very, very important topic. This is one that comes up quite a bit about physical intimacy, about feeling close to your partner, about connecting, and we wanted to put this together. We might go over 6:30 because this is such an important topic to talk about. So hear us out, hear me out. We are going to talk today all about physical intimacy, which is something that all of us, I think, can benefit from and have issues or questions about. It is something that we think about, that we do, but we don't necessarily talk about and analyze. And so we're going to break this down and share some information that might help you even tonight. So this is not something you want to miss. It's a really important topic. It's one that comes up all the time for people, and we thought we would share this with you.
So how do couples keep physical intimacy alive and fun long term? Like, this is something, it comes up all the time. And as you're rolling in, say hi.
Yep. Give us a thumbs up so we know you're there.
Yeah. That we're doing this to hang out with you guys. It's so great to cover this topic. This is one of the big ones that has come up for us along the way that you guys always want to talk about. So let's get right into it. So how do couples keep physical intimacy alive long term? What I want to say is you got to spin this question just a little bit differently than what you're seeing. So what we asked our page is, should couples schedule physical intimacy?
Mm-hmm. We got all kinds of comments.
All kinds of comments.
And I would say not good or bad. It just is. One comment is not better than the other. But we had all kinds of people say yes, no, but yes if it's like this, no, definitely not. And it's like, but maybe if it's like this, and hey, we're super busy, so why not? You know, everyone had. You guys are awesome. Everyone had their take on it, so we wanted to kind of go through
and that. So for those of you watching, should couples schedule physical intimacy? Is this a thing the way it should be? We're going to do a deep dive into this because ultimately it gets way into the bigger topic of today about how to keep physical intimacy alive long term. Yeah. And there's a few things that we have really learned from the research about how couples can do this well. There's some challenges that come up along the way. Like Andrew said, it's bad. It's bad to schedule physical intimacy.
Don't do it.
Don't do it is what Andrew said. Scheduling intimate is contradicting to me.
Yeah.
A little spontaneity, booking an appointment is necessary. But what Andrew's really saying is, what do you do if you don't feel like messing around?
Yeah. So you're not in the mood.
Yeah, if you schedule it, what do you do then? Right. There's some challenges like Stephen brought up, which is, he said it's a very good idea. So the totally opposite of Andrew.
Schedule it.
So physical intimacy time does not have to mean physical intimacy. And we got to be careful about what we say here on Facebook. So that it can be as simple as unplugging from the world without technology. But what he's really saying there is, how do you navigate distractions and technology when they get in the way of connecting? That is a huge challenge, which we're going to talk about today.
Staying present. Yep.
And I really actually like Robert's comment, which was, I only wish if I had such problems. So how many of you can resonate with this?
Give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
If that's you, if you're like, hey, I'm single. How do I meet people? How do I even get to this problem? It's actually a good problem to have, is what I hear.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Totally. What do you do if this isn't even a problem yet? And I think what he's really saying is, what do you do in a world where meeting a partner seems so difficult in the first place? Mm-hmm. That is definitely something we want to talk about today.
Yep.
Super important. And then Aaron said that he's tried this. And if you look at Aaron's comment, there's a lot of things that Aaron and his partner tried. So, but what's really there is they've tried so many things Aaron brings about a very good question, which is there such thing as normal?
Mhm.
And what they found is there was so much scheduling. How much is too much?
Yeah.
So it worked for them. All right.
So you don't want to be too rigid.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How much is too much? That is a great question. And then somebody said, how do you even start the process of figuring out what works in your relationship? If it works for the couple, then absolutely. If it not, but the question is, how do you even start the process of figuring that out in the first place? How do you bring that up? And that's what we're going to talk about today too.
Yeah.
If any of that rings true, if you can relate to any of that,
give us a thumbs up.
Give us
a heart.
Thumbs up.
Say yes. You're in the right place.
We can absolutely read your comments along the way here. This is totally interactive. We love hanging out with you guys every other week here. You are in the right place. If you're noticing that these are hard things to figure out, just post your comments right here, because this is important stuff and we are going to do a deep dive right into that.
Absolutely. Can we do a quick announcement?
We can do a quick announcement.
Okay. But we are very, very excited. So we have reached over 10,000 fans on Facebook. So there are 10,000 LGBTQ plus people on here. Even our straight alliances, we need them as well too. But just people who are gay or gay friendly, same-sex individuals. We've been talking to so many of you guys, and it's just been really, really nice. So we wanted to say thank you. It's a milestone for us to reach 10,000 fans, and keep the comments coming, keep the suggestions coming. We are constantly trying to make these topics relevant for you guys. So let us know. But wanted to say thank you for that.
Yeah. It's so great to have 10,000 fans. It's been growing huge, and now we're at 5 figures. So I hope you tell our page, tell your friends about our page as a place where they can get resources on what works. And it's not pop psychology. That's what we really stand for. It's just really solid material as professionals as we are, and also as a couple.
Yeah.
So let's get into this. What we're going to cover. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to cover. What we're going to cover today is you're going to understand whether scheduling is a good idea, what we can all take away from a study of 70,000 couples. Yes, it was really that many couples who successfully kept physical connection alive long term.
Yeah, and so this is a really important point. Guys, take the guesswork out of this. Yes, everybody's different. Yes, everybody's perspective is on this is different. But if we can kind of peel it back a little and take the 30,000 foot level view, you don't have to recreate the wheel, because there's people who have done this and answered this. And when we did this study, because this is all research based, ultimately it comes down to, if we were to ask the masses out there, the same-sex couples out there, the people who are dating, everyone in the LGBTQ community, what is the general consensus around these things? And so what we're sharing with you is, like Sam said, out of pop psychology. It's really research and evidence-based. So you guys can take the guesswork out of this, and you don't have to recreate the wheel or look like, oh my God, I'm on this island by myself trying to figure it out and I don't know what to do, which we think is the most, I think, aggravating place to be. You know what the problem is, but you don't know what the solution is. And so what we're trying to share with you here is more towards that, so it takes the guesswork out.
Yeah. And ask your questions along the way. Even if you're watching the replay, post it right here. We'll see everything that you write. We're here to help you. So if any of this rings true, if you want to learn any of this material, just give us a thumbs up. Just give us a heck yeah in the comments. We love resonating with you guys. We want to know that this actually matters.
Awesome.
So what we're going to learn today and go over is this is all stuff that isn't pop psychology. This has actually been researched, and I'm really thankful that it has been. 70,000 couples, they've looked at this. And we're going to show you how to stay physically connected in today's culture of distractions and over-scheduled calendars. We're also going to talk about what to do if you're out of ideas for how to keep the spark alive, and much, much more. So let's really get into this.
Awesome. Let's do it.
I'm excited. Okay, so this is the big one. What to do when you don't feel like messing around.
Yeah. So one thing that works for a lot of couples, so this is one of those things, take the guesswork out of this. First and foremost, some of this might be on one end, yes, I've tried this, it didn't work. We want to say yes and rather than yeah, but. Try it again, one more time. Even show your partner this. Even if you're doing this by yourself, that's totally fine. Like, take yourself out of this and say, you know what? Don't take it from me. Take it from this Alapaki Yahoo guy and this Sam guy. Show them this video and say, we told you this is, so we got people saying, yeah, I tried that, but I don't want to do that anymore. Or they're saying, that's not going to work for me. That's just not me. What we would invite you to do is keep an open mind. Some of this is going to seem a little out of left field or contrived or structured, but humorous. Stay with it. Stay with it. What would I say to that question? Scaling question.
Yeah. So what do you do if you don't feel like messing around? And so what we want to do today is talk a little bit about what we learned from this study of 70,000 other couples, which is called, it's in a book called The Normal Bar by Christiane Northrup. And it's a big book. I wouldn't necessarily recommend reading it. It's a lot of material.
But bring it up in cocktail parties.
But yeah, you could totally talk about it because I'm going to give you a summary about some of the important points. And there's some common mistakes that people make in relationships and outside relationships around this topic of what to do when you don't feel like messing around. And it's all about refusing physical intimacy. That is the hard part, I think, that everybody really experiences. How do you necessarily refuse it? And what the study really found is couples and people that are fixed on what physical intimacy should be. And that's in quotes. So what's the hang up around that?
Of what is, I mean, I think it's what, and you're going to hear us say this all the time. It is all mindset. And when we say mindset, it's a set of beliefs. It's stuff that you learned from your past that you still hold on to. It may have made sense in the past, but it doesn't make sense now.
Right.
It's a perspective. It's a viewpoint. So that is your mindset. Ultimately, at the end of the day, what you think affects and impacts how you feel, which impacts what you ultimately do. So all of these should statements are what we would call part of your mindset. Like, who's telling you that there's all this pressure that you should be a certain way, you should do it this way, you saw it in a movie, you saw it in a film, you saw it online, that intimacy needs to be like this. It needs to happen this way, and in the finale it needs to go this way. Like, that kind of rigidity around should is, I think, getting a lot of people into trouble. Where I think Sam was showing one of the comments before, everything is physical intimacy.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Am I jumping ahead?
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
So, but that's exactly right. So what the study found is people that have a rigid mindset about what physical intimacy should be. And if you want to post in the comments, where does our mindset about what physical intimacy should look like? Where does that come from? There is one primary source for that. and it's online. And it's how we're told about physical intimacy.
On our phone.
It's our phone.
This little thing is, yeah, that shows us everything that we think we know about being physically intimate with someone else. And so that is a very, very skewed point on what intimacy can be, not what it should be, because it's ultimately very different for everyone else.
Yeah.
For everybody.
So the study also, staying rigid about what physical intimacy should look like. The second big piece is not talking about physical intimacy and touch outside of the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that was really consistent as a mistake that couples make, not talking about it outside the bedroom. And then there were the couples not talking about it at all.
Yeah, which I have found, 10 years later with the Gay Couples Institute and 2,000 plus couples later, same-sex couples later, that is more the category I see people running into. They don't talk about it at all. It's something you do. Yes, it can be spontaneous, and so all of that. No, it does not need to be rigid. No, it does not need to be structured. But there is a level of, you talk about your finances.
Right.
You talk about, hey, are you allergic to any food? I want to take you out to dinner. Any dietary restrictions? What kind of food do you like? What kind of movies do you like? What kind of movies do you hate? What do you want to do in a year from now? What's your job? All that stuff we say, but we don't talk about those things, about likes and dislikes, preferences, when it comes to physical intimacy.
Yeah.
So it matters that we talk about those things, and I see that people don't talk about them at all.
And so for those of you watching this on the replay or live right now, I really want you to think about what are the things that are holding you back? What are the things that you're telling yourself about yourself and about your relationships that are keeping you stuck? These are the things that in our coaching program, in our therapy program with couples and with singles, where we start to challenge some of their beliefs, and so they can get beyond some of these things that are probably holding them back.
Yeah, and I see Michael's very curious, at least his emoji.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Hey, Michael.
But people that are not talking about it at all. So the second thing we really want to talk about is how to make physical intimacy and touch a priority. So that's the other big thing that you were telling us about.
Yeah.
And what's the trick to that? You started to say it.
Oh, that take the pressure off. Everything is physical intimacy. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to be able to connect with our partner. You're feeling a bit alone. You need to connect with someone else, even if you're not in a relationship. And there's moments like that you just want to connect because you're feeling lonely in a relationship. So a big part of this is really to stay present in the moment.
Right.
So you've heard me say this before as a mindset piece, but just enjoying what is happening now.
Right.
It really takes the pressure off, where ultimately right now, this is all that's happening. You, me, and Sam. That's it. Talking about physical intimacy. Now you can remove yourself from this video, but when you do, you will be doing that next thing. And that next thing you're doing is your new now. But ultimately, this is all that's happening. So it's actually kind of humbling and it takes the pressure off to know all you have is here and now, not the past, not the future. That's it right now, right here. So if you think about it in that way, when you are being physically intimate with someone or trying to connect with them, that moment you have eye contact, just noticing what's happening in the room, physically, the environment in the room, the lighting in the room, anything and everything that really enhances your senses, what you see, smell, taste, feel, all of that contributes to being in the moment. And so it takes practice, but that's one thing we would say as a challenge, and to invite you guys to just, outside of being physically intimate with someone, just if you were to be present for somebody else, even if it's for dinner or coffee, present in a meeting, present in this conversation we're having, just notice my voice, what's happening, where you are, where we are, and just notice your surrounding. And it's amazing just by doing that, noticing your physical surrounding and what's happening now is all you have, is super helpful to staying present.
So this is exactly what the study of 70,000 couples found, is that couples that have great long-term physical intimacy, they are able to stay super present with one another, even in the small moments, and they are not multitasking on their phones. All right, they are super right there. They're at a cafe and they're there and they're really connecting, and that time is all they have. They kind of act like it could never happen again. And they don't take for granted that tomorrow will happen either. They stay super present. And these are not just platitudes. These are real things about staying present and connecting and really sitting there with somebody. This is a huge challenge to our culture and to our society and to our community too. And I would really challenge you to really sit there and just be present in the moment. That is absolutely the trick. And so I actually, to call him out a little bit because it was super smart, is Christopher. He said scheduling alone time with no screens. And what he's really saying is no priorities about what's going to happen. This was the trick. He hit it on the head. You know, maybe there's going to be cuddling time for a nap. Maybe you're going to shampoo each other's hair or exchange hand massages.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll just have a real conversation. He is exactly right. This is what came up in the study, as being super present and just being open to possibilities.
Everything is a step towards physical intimacy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be like this thing over here that you should be doing, you know, that's hardcore, and that's the only thing that matters, and that's the only thing that is considered physical intimacy.
Yeah.
Everything is considered physical.
And so
intimacy.
if that resonates with you, even on the replay, just heart this, just thumbs up this very portion of this, because I mean, I can see other people doing it. And I think I'm hoping that by doing this way, we can kind of call some of you out and bring you back out of your commute, out of the other priorities you have tonight, and just have you focus on what really matters and what you're gonna wish that you look back at right now and wish it really was all about.
Yeah, and you know, on that note, you know, I think Sam's saying it really well, you know, and around just staying present and what's happening right now. And I gotta say this, if you're saying out there, yeah, you know, physical intimacy in my relationship is just the way it is, and it's gonna just be that way, or yeah, what you're saying is great, I'll put it off to tomorrow or the next day, or I'll worry about this next week. You can do that. Our invitation is to do it now, because what you do now really impacts who you become tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So what you do really is correlated to who you become. I would also say that your own personal development around physical intimacy, your career, relationship, anything and everything that you wish to do is absolutely connected to your success. You can't really have like, I want to be super, super successful with relationship and work and money and all of that. And you say that's all up here, like you're 10. And when it comes to working on yourself, your professional development, your personal development, it's, oh, I'll put it off till tomorrow. And that's like a 2. So if your professional and personal development is a 2 when it should be a 10, your success is not going to be a 10. You have to do your personal development at a 10 in order for your success to be a 10. And so it's something that I really want to share and impart to you guys, that it's super, super crucial to not put this thing off till next week or tomorrow or sometime, someday. Yeah, we'll get to it. It's really, I think, important to do that now.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm glad we get the chance to have this space. I think it's super, it's outstanding.
Yeah.
So for our single people, which is a good portion of our page, what if you're single, but what I hear you really saying is you want to get this right the first time around. You don't want to be floundering. Maybe you're tired of the scene. We actually have an entire course, an entire toolkit about this very thing. We call it our communication style toolkit, but really it goes deep into who you are, how you come across to others, and then what you can do to make that better and attract people that are like you, that get you and support you. That is like first base, all right, when you get your mindset around that. So I wanted to go a little bit into what is there in some of that stuff. So if you want to meet somebody who supports you, some of the most important things are you're going to set boundaries around what you're going to tolerate. That is super important. And many of you say, hey, I already do this. I set boundaries. Awesome. Don't not do this. What I would challenge you around, though, is you need to also be open to changing those boundaries with the right person. So what we see over and over, and what the study also saw, is especially around physical intimacy, it's about setting boundaries, but also when you meet somebody that you're interested in going the long haul with, that you start to co-create the boundaries together. That is the huge challenge. But being transparent with that person, hey, let's create some connection. Let's create some rules about how you and I operate, and let's do this together. So many people, as they're looking for a potential partner, they're just kind of like doing what do we say? Like they're just like they're not doing it consciously.
It's not deliberate.
Yeah, they're not doing it deliberately and
with intention and purpose.
Yeah, and the real winners in this area, if there is such a thing, are people that do it really deliberately. And so setting those boundaries and being open to changing them as the right person comes along. Yeah.
So can I say one thing
Sure.
about that before you move on? I think that's a really good point around if we go back to schedule or not schedule physical intimacy. Ultimately, what we found out is there's a variety of opinions. It is up to you, but ultimately the crux of the question that's kind of behind that is whatever you do, do it with intention, with purpose. So that if trying to, for example, if you're a couple like, yeah, I don't want to schedule it because we want to be spontaneous. And we've met a ton of those, and like 4 years, 6 years, 10 years of trying to be spontaneous, whether you're dating someone or with a long-term partner, and you're just like, it still doesn't work. Well, if spontaneity is not working, you might have to try scheduling it, so that scheduling intimacy, so that there is some sort of plan and strategy and deliberateness to it with purpose that you might not necessarily have now. So anyway,
But
that's what I would say.
the point is not that scheduling or not is the answer.
No.
It's about being deliberate.
Right. That scheduling is ultimately an act around, you guys get to talk about it first and foremost, which a lot of people don't do. They don't talk about physical intimacy. So just just by scheduling it already opens the door into that world of, hey, I'm thinking of doing this, and it gets a conversation going, which doesn't necessarily happen. So yeah.
And it's what we were saying about like changing those boundaries, changing those rules with the right person. That was really some of the people that were successful.
Yeah.
Now, the huge thing though that we talk about in our toolkit, especially, is we show the people that take that live and in the toolkit is how to create a social network that attracts like-minded people. If you find that you are tired of the scene, I really want you to consider what is your network and how are you using that network to bring the right person toward you. What were you saying earlier about you're the sum of the people that you hang out with?
Yeah, you are the sum of the people you hang out with. So guys, all you have to do, okay, is hang out with 10 other like-minded people. That's it, 10. So when you hang out with 10 other people just like you, who will boost you up, who will listen to you, who will not set these rigid boundaries, will talk to you, you'll find you'll have an incredibly different experience than the experience you might be having now.
Yeah, absolutely. You are a sum of the people that you create in your social network. And if that is a challenge, then I really want you to think about what are you doing to do that. That's exactly what we work through with people in the toolkit. And it's usually an area that they never really thought about. And then
it's kind of
be the person that you want to meet.
That kind of goes together with the first one too. Someone has to lead. You be that leader, and you know, be the person you want to meet. Role model that, and really accentuate that. And it is amazing. And without getting, you know, woo-woo or spiritual around this, when you put out positive energy out there, you will attract positive energy back. When you are happy, you will attract other people. They want to hang out with that kind of energy.
Yeah.
You know, and so be that person that you want to meet.
Absolutely. So if you're resonating with any of this material, what we want to go ahead and do is open a special opportunity right here, right now, is in our advanced coaching program. In our program, we've seen 2,000, actually closer toward 3,000 other LGBT individuals and couples in our Gay Couples Institute program. If you click the link, it should be in the post. Schedule some time to talk to us, because right here, right now, a very special thing that we are making available to you is we can take on one new client. You know, there's only 2 of us, and then there's our staff. We can take on somebody this week. And usually when we put this out there, we get a lot of applications. So if you're interested, just fill out an application and you will see the link to work with us right there. And this is a special opportunity that we wanted to make available while this video is live, and then while we're live here, right now.
Yeah. Ultimately, all of this is at no cost. We want to just meet you, talk to you, see if you're a good fit, because it's not necessarily a good fit for everyone. We'll say that right up front. And ultimately, we want to be able to help you either as an individual grow, even if you're single. Otherwise, if you're in a relationship and you're running into issues, we want to be able to help you as well. So ultimately what this is just a phone call with us right here, like this, in this style, so we can hear a little bit more about your unique challenges and situation, so that we can help you that's tailored for you.
Yeah, so we build everything for you guys on our page. And that's been the secret to us really resonating with our community. That's why we're so excited to work with you here. Last I guess it was 2 weeks ago, when we opened up a special class all about people that wanted to work on trust and trust issues in relationships. That filled up right away. That is closed. If you come across that opportunity, we cannot take anybody else into that. What we really want to put out there right here, right now, is the opportunity to move forward with us here in and Dale, I'm just seeing this right here, that adding a link in the comments. Yeah. I'm going to do that. Let me try to do that. I'm going to let him try to fill in, and I'm the tech person. I'm the one doing all this. Let me try to do that right here, right now for you, because this usually fills right up with people who want to work with us.
Yeah, and like I was saying, kind of a mindset thing. If you want to be the person you want to meet and you don't even know how to do that, we have a game plan for you. We have a strategy for you. If you're single and trying to meet people, we have a game plan for you as well. If you're in a relationship beginning, if you're in a relationship and you've been together for a long time, and that's your situation, and you're not feeling close, or the physical intimacy isn't there, the communication style isn't there, like, how do I even talk about all of this stuff? We have a plan. We have a strategy around that. So people come to us in different parts of their life and parts of their journey. And what we have done over the years is be able to put together something that is going to be relevant for you. And so ultimately, this work with us is a phone call, a video call, if you prefer, just like this, to make it very personal. So we can just hear what's going on in your relationship, and then we can go from there.
Yeah. So I posted the link in the comments. Many others will see the replay of this. It's been great working with so many people. If it's a good fit for you and for us in the application process, we're going to tell you how to move forward. And just so you can try it out, we want you to be successful. And we're here to make you successful. We built our professional career up on it. And
we'll hang our hat on that.
Yeah, sure. We totally will. We've published the research on this ourselves. So we want you to be successful. All you need to do is just schedule a call, and then let's talk further. We'd love to meet you and just hear what you have to say. And either way, just by booking the call, you're going to walk away with some clarity on what you can do next, what I think the challenges are that are holding you back, and then what you can do next, and then some possible options. We don't want you to be in the dark anymore. And as you can see tonight, when we're just talking about something like physical intimacy, this is a hot topic, but this is something that's central to relationships. And a lot of people are really doing it wrong. And they're not doing it wrong out of they're trying to. I think they're just not being deliberate.
Yeah.
Right. They're not first considering themselves and where are they at with their process. And I put the link, it's bit.ly/work with us. GCI work with us. They're not considering themselves and where they are in their development and how the kind of people they are attracting.
Yeah. And ultimately, it starts with you and what you want to do now so that you can become the person you want to be. So what does success look like for you when it comes to physical intimacy? And what does success look like for you when it comes to relationships? If you want a 10, which I'm going to go out on a limb to say you do, because no one sits there and says, yeah, I just want an okay, so-so physical, intimate relationship. I want a kind of happy relationship. I want a so-so relationship. You know, if it's kind of ho-hum and kind of humming along, I'm fine with that. No, everyone's like, I want a happy, like, I want the best person to be with me. You know, like, I want a super happy relationship. I want the best physical intimacy and the closest person I can be with that's gonna, you know, get to know me, know who I am, and like totally get me. Like everybody wants a 10 when it comes to success and relationship. And yet what we find what's interesting is, oh, but it's okay if I just kind of work on my own personal development.
Right.
And I just kind of do it. I don't really spend a lot of time on it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not curious to find out, you know, what could be potentially there, or what I can do to make that go better. You know, and so I cannot stress enough that your success, if you want it to be huge and big, your personal development also needs to be huge and big.
And that's why this also gets back to your own frame of reference in your own head. Is we have so many people that approach us and they are waiting for their partner or the person that they're dating to change, or they're like, well, I'm only going to do this if they're willing to do it with me. And wait a minute. I want to call your attention to something super important about that kind of mindset. In a car, there's one steering wheel, but there's two people riding in front. You have the capacity to take control of your relationship, to take control of your situation and change it for the better right here, right now. Yeah. And that is why we are putting that link right there for you to see. You have the capacity to make things better, because over and over what we found is, as we worked with one person on how things were going in their relationship situation, their partner, sorry, I'm pointing at you, but you're there.
You can use me as your prop.
So their partner got curious, okay? And they got curious because things started to feel a little bit better at home. And then they're like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. And things weren't amazing. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you, oh, that was the thing that changed everything. But their partner got curious. And then we also have this huge, robust program for both of you, if needed.
Yeah.
And we also give you the time and duration to get the results that you really want to see. Yeah. So but you can do this on your own. Do not wait for him or her to come around and expect them to be the driver in the relationship. If something is bad, someone has to raise their hand and say, right here, right now, I'm going to change it. And I'm changing it for us.
Or I'm changing it for me.
And I'm changing it for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping you come around along the way.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times, to the hundreds, that we've seen where the other partner gets curious.
Awesome.
But you can change this right now.
Dale, we look forward to talking to you. Fantastic, buddy. I'm really excited about that.
So Dale filled out the app. Like I said, we can only do this with one new client because we're super full and that's the truth about our capacity. So it's us and our staff, which is super limited. All of this is available. We have our offices in San Francisco, but it's all online. We have a massive online program where moments from now, you could start watching all of these videos of us demonstrating exactly how to do this, from establish trust, to learn how to get your needs met, to definitely how to argue better and differently and make your arguments productive. We have all that figured out. That's all actually already recorded in the learning portal. What you just need is a few professionals like us and our staff along the way to help you implement it to you. That's all you need. And I just can't believe the amount of impact that we're able to have now to make you successful.
Yeah. And we say this not to brag, but we say this to share what's possible, and this stuff works. Is Sam mentioned earlier in this broadcast the research we wrote, and the research is on, does when we meet with same-sex couples, does this stuff work? And the research basically said, yes, it does. And it works. And, ultimately it accelerates couples' improvement. How well they improve, what they improved on, depending on what their specific issue is. And in this case, it's physical intimacy, as we're talking about. There's a way, there's a plan, there's a strategy, takes the guesswork out of it. That's there. And so we're really proud of that research, not to brag, but we're really proud of it because it really shows very, very definitively this type of research-based, non-pop psychology, non-Dr. Phil stuff works. Because ultimately you can go from friend to friend, therapist to therapist, book to book, and trying to learn this on your own. But what we have found is they contradict each other. And so it just kind of makes it confusing for people. And what we have found is that doesn't work. So what we put together is kind of an end-to-end plan that can help you guys be successful. So I share all of that to say that if you want a successful relationship, you're going to have to work on your personal development. Yeah, and it basically starts with you.
But it doesn't,
the person you want to meet.
But it doesn't have to be like arduous work.
No,
I mean, really,
not at all.
It's so much easier.
It's fun, actually.
Actually, yes, and it's so much easier when you just have a guide that's helped you. That's helped literally thousands of other individuals and couples move through this. Not some something that they're just making up, along the way. Just somebody who's done this.
Yeah.
And somebody your relationship situation, even if you're single, it's the most important thing in your life. It's the thing that pays the bills. It's the thing that puts food in the refrigerator. It's the thing that can make, a heaven out of hell or a hell out of heaven is what they say.
Sure.
Okay. I didn't come up with the content, but boy, is that true. Okay. And it's the most important thing. And we take that super seriously.
Yeah.
All right. We don't come and mess around with your relationship. We have a really robust assessment process where we look at it and then we present the findings to you in writing, just like a doctor would do. And so you can tell us if you even think that we're on the right track. Yeah. So we don't just start walking you through something session to session. That kind of stuff does not work.
And what also doesn't work is like, hey, everything you know about relationships that you learn through experience or through other people who are your role models, throw that all out and do this other thing. That's not what we're saying either. Like, this is about what you're doing. There are, I can say this already confidently, there are stuff you're doing that is amazing, that we can all learn from. That is right, that works for you. So it's ultimately taking that and even saying, hey, that thing you're doing, that is amazing. Here's why it goes so well. And by saying that and doing it that way and giving it a name, it just shows more like, oh, this is what this is all is. Now it's deliberate. Now there's stuff you're going to continue doing with intention that you can tell yourself and the next person you meet or date or your current partner, oh, let's do this thing because we know that this is the piece that helps keeps the gears moving. But it becomes this deliberate thing and not crossing your fingers and hoping this works, but you're not sure why. And like throwing spaghetti on the wall and hoping something sticks.
Yeah. So those of you that are just coming in now and you're curious, we can only take we're opening up a spot for one new client this week. And what you're seeing there on the screen is the application. If this is right for you, we're going to let you know and let you make the decision. If it's not, we're going to be just super clear with you about that, but we're also going to point you in the right direction. Either way, you're going to walk away from your meeting with us. That link leads to some important questions, actually, about your readiness, and then to my calendar, where you and I are going to meet, and we're just going to kind of see where you're at. It might not be the right time right now, but it might be the right time later. I'm just going to tell you that, and either way, you're going to walk away successful. But we built this thing really for you guys. And we've been doing this since 2007, just like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, Dale, awesome. We'll talk to you. We'll figure out a time. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Others, if you're listening or you're watching the replay, just give us a shout. Go to that URL. All that does, it's a free contact. Just schedule a call so that we can connect and say hi.
Yeah. So either way, click through, click the link, and we really look forward to working with you. And for those of you who have already clicked through and filled out an application, I look forward to chatting with you and being your coach. For those of you that haven't, I can't wait to talk to you again right here.
Awesome.
So we will talk to you soon.
See, I told you this was going to be a long one. I love it.
It wasn't much longer.
This is a very, very huge,
I know.
passionate topic for us. I know it is for you guys. So we really wanted to emphasize that we can help. I wish we had this growing up. Like we've been together for 14 years and we get it. Like we had to stumble, scrape our knees, fall, figure it out on our own, and get back up and try again. And I wish we had this community. I wish we had people just saying, well, hey, you know, if you just did it like this, it'll go better. And then just try it out and say, oh my goodness, that does go better if you do it like this. Like I wish we had that and we didn't. And that's why we're really stressing the importance of this, because what we have to share with you does work. And all we do every day, all day is help same-sex individuals and couples, LGBTQ community thrive and do better. So I'll leave it there to say thank you for listening to us share all of this.
And so those of you that have filled out an app, I can't wait to working with you and talking with you further. Everybody else, I will see you here again.
Awesome. Alrighty, guys. See you guys in 2 weeks.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.